Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. And welcome back to our second session here at the Creator Lab at NAB Show. So much great content here today. Welcome back. This next session is going to talk about how the world's biggest brands are really working with creators. And what does enterprise scale creator marketing actually look like when it gets put into place? So we're going to explore top companies, how they tap creators, how they fuel campaigns, how they launch products, and build loyal audiences with measurable results. And that measurable results part is really important because creators and measurement and big companies go hand in hand. And the better they're measured, the more money that these big companies will give to creators. So we're all invested in that. So this session, I want you to please welcome Amy Salazar, EVP of Client Services at the team. She will be moderating. Jen Adams, co-founder and creator. Her handle is at interiordesignerella, which I love. She also runs businesses GoToLinks and Drivven. Jennifer Cho, the Chief Customer Officer at CreatorIQ. And finally, Brendan Ittelson, the Chief Ecosystem Officer at Zoom. Amy, Jen, Jennifer, Brendan, come on up. The stage is yours. Big round of applause, everybody. Thank you.
I've got note cards because honestly, I was so excited to meet with everyone on this stage and wanted to make sure I had every question perfectly laid out. But we're going to start with a little bit more in-depth intros to make sure you know who you're hearing about today. So can I start with Jen Adams?
Absolutely. How's everyone doing? Woo, it's a party.
We're going to have fun here. You have to be louder than that.
It's all good. We're still, I don't know, in Vegas, do they wake up now or are they still sleeping? I don't know. But I'm just, yes, I'm Jen. I'm really excited and honored to get to be here with all of you and everyone here on the panel. So thank you so much for having me. My purpose is to serve, and I feel like I get to do that in a few ways. One is being the creator behind interiordesignerella. I'm extremely grateful for the community of over 3 million there. And I'm also the co-founder of GoToLinks, which is a link in bio tool made by creators, me, and for creators specifically for optimizing affiliate links. And then the last one is Drivven. That is my ads agency. And we are laser focused on helping creators scale sales, drive value for brands, and build the life of their dreams.
We love that. I think in Vegas, nobody went to bed yet. Actually.
Oh, right. The city that never sleeps.
Kept going.
Wow. You guys look amazing. That's how you wake up? I did not wake up like this.
At 1 a.m. last night. So we did go to sleep and we're here now.
There we are.
CreatorIQ, tell us about your role.
Hello again. Thank you everyone for having me today. It's so exciting to be here at NAB. This is my first time. My name is Jennifer Cho, here with Jen and the rest of the panel. I'm the Chief Customer Officer at CreatorIQ. I have the honor and privilege of working with over 1,400 of the largest enterprise brands, in addition to agencies and mid-market brands around the world. So it's so nice to be here today, and I'm excited about the conversation.
And finally, Brendan, welcome to the Girls Forum here. You're one of us. We welcome you. From Zoom, please tell us about your role.
Well, it's great to be here today and representing sort of both sides, because with Zoom, not only do we have tools that creators are using these days, but we actively partner with creators to share the message about Zoom. And so it's exciting being on both sides and talking about that story. In terms of Zoom, I work on building out the ecosystem and how we connect to the larger platforms and bring everyone together. So really excited about our conversation today.
Thank you all for being here. So as we all got together to prepare for this panel, one thing we unanimously agreed on is a lot has happened in the creator space over the past decade or so. I think we all remember a time when brands would come to agencies like the one that I work at. I work for the team. One half of our company is brand creative work. The other half is talent representation. So I get to see how the sausage is made on both sides. But the brands would come to us with a big creative platform, and we'd tack on a creator or an influencer, as we called them at the time. And it was fun, and maybe it was experimental, and we were testing to see how it drove results. No longer the case. We know that creators are absolutely integral to the success of any major brand launch or investment in a new product or sales. So, Jennifer, too, we're going to start with you. Sitting in CreatorIQ, you get the back end to all the data. You get to see how everyone is coming to these campaigns. Give us the history. How did we end up here? And what do you see the trends looking like as we go into this year and how these campaigns and partnerships are evolving?
Yeah, Amy, I also come from the agency world, and exactly what you said. Creator marketing used to be an experiment. It was always about just tacking on, maybe trying one campaign. But right now, it's an essential marketing tactic, right? It's its own ecosystem in the way that brands treat their marketing. And it actually is year over year really showing more ROI and impact than any of the traditional marketing funnels, right? So I think it's really exciting to see the investment. We're seeing over and over, year over year, the increased investment in creator marketing, in the ways that they're measuring, in the ways that they're supporting their creators. I think what we're going to see so much more of this year is creator marketing becoming its own ecosystem. So brands really partnering with different creators to create different long-term relationships to be able to kind of build that community that is beyond just the transactional campaign. So I think that's really exciting. I do think that the challenge with that is being able to scale it. And I don't think any company has really figured that out perfectly yet. And I think that's where the exciting trends and the strategies will come through this year.
For any of you who are maybe not super versed in the creator space right now, and I might get the stat wrong, you guys can correct me, we see about a 60% higher conversion rate for a product sale or action if it is pushed by a creator than if it's pushed by a brand. That is a much higher ROI than you can get with paid media alone, which is amazing. Now, I'm here to advocate for the whole ecosystem. We need all the different pieces of the pie, but this is an integral piece of any campaign that is going live. So Jen, being that important piece of this pie, tell us a little bit about when brands come to you or brands are coming to creators, how do you evaluate those partnerships? And I think partnership is a really important word as we talk about this. What are those things that get you excited that they're bringing to the table? What are the watch outs? Tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like my perspective as a creator might be a little bit different than the norm, but I really am interested in you. So my perspective is about the brand, not necessarily about what I want or I need as a creator, because if I can understand your pain points, it's going to allow me to assess how I can be of value to you. So I feel like brands will come with an idea of what they would like, and through negotiating or actually understanding more if they want, and I have an idea, I'm like, well, actually, I think I could provide value this way. It becomes more of a conversation and it becomes truly custom to what they're wanting and to where I feel like I can provide the most value. So I feel like the biggest asks are usually just brand awareness and of course to drive sales. And I feel like whether they're a small brand or a big brand, you know, having that partnership, like you mentioned, is really important. And I also think nowadays with the algorithm, and there's just not a lot of organic reach. So if a company is investing in a creator to post something and they want to be able to have a little bit more stability in what they see as a return, I feel like ads are a big part of that as well too. And I feel like ads are changing because it used to be more transactional, but trust is such a big part of the currency right now. And you hear that a lot with creators, like, oh, well, they have trust with their audience. But I also believe that brands need to have trust with the creators that are representing them and giving them a little bit more flexibility in how they represent them.
I could not agree with you more. And I feel like on the agency side, one of the big pieces of education we have to often do is if you overmanage the creative of a creator, you're taking away the value you paid for, right? If it feels like a brand piece of content from a creator, then you did a media buy. And that's a totally different thing. And that's okay too. But if you're trying to use the creator's audience, and we hate the word, but authenticity, you've got to let them cook a little bit. So Brendan, you also sit in a unique seat because you are facilitating opportunities for creators through your platform, through what it creates. And you guys are hiring creators. Tell us about both sides of the puzzle for you.
It's exciting to work on both sides, but it really works well together. And the reason I say that is as I look at how we work with creators on the brand side, creators bring an amazing perspective, and they're what brings a voice and a truth to Zoom's product and our message, and really showing the use cases in real world situations, going beyond Zoom's just meeting platform, but all the features and functionality that we have grounded in use cases that are key to these creators. And so that's what's so powerful with this, is that it really is that authenticity and truth that you're talking about. And that's where it's fun being on both sides, because they're telling that story when we are connecting with them, but also they're using these tools for their businesses. They are small businesses. They're entrepreneurs at times. And so the value in synergy is there naturally, and we can work on what is that creative storytelling together to really provide the truth, but also it's very applicable.
I feel like we should get one of those betting apps up here and take a show of hands. Who's used Zoom? Anyone in the audience ever? Oh, just a few of you. Okay. Who feels frustrated when they have to use a different platform? Yeah. Are we allowed to admit that? Okay. Yeah. I'm not allowed to raise my hand. I might work with some other platforms. We love them all equally. when you're thinking about CreatorIQ and its platform evolution when it comes to creators, maybe start by telling the audience a little bit about what CreatorIQ does for anyone who doesn't know. And how do creators and maybe also the creative teams that are working on these campaigns help influence how the product is evolving? And can you tell us anything that's coming soon?
Oh, maybe in the secret space that we have here. But CreatorIQ is the world's largest enterprise operating system for influencer marketing. So we have two sides to our business. So one side is the creator workflow management. So how do you run a campaign? How do you find your creators? How do you actually go through the approval process in a way that's efficient and makes sense, right? That brings all the stakeholders to the table. The other side of our business is all about the analytics. And I think that's where it's so exciting that the industry is still really evolving. We just talked about how creator marketing is becoming its own marketing channel in and of itself. So I think there are a lot of metrics that you can use that are directional. But right now, what's exciting is that our platform allows you to look at what we call a suite of metrics and make sure that you're mapping success based on what your campaign or the work you're trying to do looks like, right? So campaign is transactional. You have different metrics to make sure that you are impacting an event at Coachella, right? Like you have the right influencers, you have the right content, the right storytelling. But then, how do you look at the building of an ecosystem? That's more of a long-term play. And we see that the growth and retention of a community actually shows the growth and retention of your customer, right? There are so many kind of directional metrics that actually show that, but how do you actually lean into those to make your program better? And I think what's really exciting about CreatorIQ is that we get to work with the customers that are doing the most impactful creator programs around the world, and we listen to them. So we continue to evolve our platform to make sure that we're supporting them both on the workflow side in addition to the analytics and measurement side. We do have some very exciting things coming.
Please tell us. None of us will tell secrets, right? There's no media here.
No media at all. But we did just announce our new partnership with Sprinklr, which is very exciting because now you can see all of your metrics in one place. So we do have quite a few customers that overlap. So just the amount of information that you can process in one platform becomes so much stronger. So we're really excited about our Sprinklr partnership. And then we also are working through SafeIQ. So SafeIQ is more than just a brand safety metric for enterprise customers. When you're talking about long-term programs, you want to make sure that the people that you're working with actually align with what you're trying to do, right? So I consider SafeIQ to be more about suitability than it is about safety, because you just want to make sure that the creator and the brand make sense, right? Like we talk about authenticity. I like to talk about how the relationship is organic, right? Like the creator is a true fan of the brand and the brand appreciates what the creator and the identity they're bringing to the table and informing the brand does for the brand.
Great. For anyone who might not be familiar with Sprinklr, it's an integral tool for anyone who's running social media campaigns across platforms. It allows you to see all your posts, your content, your data. So the combination of these two is really a game changer for any marketing team who's trying to find efficiency and effectiveness across their investments. I want to talk about measurement in a minute, but first I want to pause one more time and go back to Jen and say, tell us, when you're looking at a brand that's a Fortune 500 brand, right? A big brand, a Zoom, anything like that. How does the evaluation process for that authenticity or organic partnership look different or the same when you're talking to a startup or a smaller brand or maybe a brand you're invested in?
I don't think it matters. At least for me, I feel like every brand that comes to me, I treat them with the same perspective. And so you are coming to me to help you scale. And so I want to see how I can do that. So I need to understand where your pain points are. It comes back to that. But there are brands that come to me and ask to work together. And I will be honest and tell them that I don't think I am the best fit for them. And I will bow out and offer it to another creator. So I truly am interested in making sure that we're aligned and not just taking on the work. I want to do a good job. And I am so data driven and performance driven that I want to do a good job for you.
I love that. And as an agency lead, let me tell you, we really appreciate that because I will be honest with a brand when I say this is someone who takes on everything and they deliver okay versus this is someone who's really particular and they will over deliver for you and it's worth the investment. Brendan, let's start talking about measurement. I know it's a big question, but it's really important, right? We're spending a lot of money in this space. It's the fastest growing marketing piece of the marketing pie. When Zoom is looking at creator partnerships or creator campaigns, where do you guys start from? What are the key measurement and moments that you're looking for? How do you evaluate what success is going to look like? And how do you align on that ahead of time with creators to ensure that everyone's pointed the same direction and you know whether or not the partnership was a success once it's in market?
It's a great question, and it's one that's really multi-tier for us. At its heart, we start really in who is the customer and the audience that we're targeting so that we've got that alignment to begin with. Zoom has so many different audiences when you go from IT decision makers, marketers, contact center and customer experience operations. It's such a wide range. Also SMBs to Fortune 500. So it's key first to really go, okay, who is that audience? And now that we have that audience, let's start to dive into what does that campaign look like? What is success? What are we measuring to really drive? So that's where we work and figure out where are those success points and criteria. And as we're evaluating, we're looking at how does it become a win-win situation for both individuals and one where there's that trust and authenticity across the board. Naturally, as a company, we are always looking at what is that return on investment, and it is a more and more crowded space at that point. So measurement is so important, but that's where we're looking at, how does this break through and how does that story come very true? And as you were saying earlier, in that return that folks are starting to see when partnering with investors with creators, that we're seeing that same return and demand from our customers.
Jen, from your side, how do you, or your management team, shout out to any of the managers or agents, you guys do the really hard work in these deals. How do you guys align up front? How do you set expectations? How familiar with your own data are you going into those conversations and what you can expect to drive forward?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at numbers all the time. I feel like that helps dictate our strategy and who we invest in, because at the end of the day, we want it to be a productive partnership. So I feel like, what was the question? That was my brain.
No, you're fine. The question was, how do you set the expectation? Right? So if a brand's coming to you and saying, I want you to sell 2 million products, is that realistic? How do you know what you can do?
Yeah, okay. So relying on platforms, right? Like Sprinklr, CreatorIQ, you're easy to connect with, by the way, like an LTK. So LTK is a platform that I built my business on. And so they provide all of this, all the data, but it also depends on the retailer. So Amazon has a certain way that they want to disclose their information. So it is a little bit disjointed in how you try to collect all of that, but there are places that are providing a solution. And so we do our best with what we are given, but we're absolutely data driven. I remember when I was first starting out and I sold like 200 pairs of like Mark Fisher shoes. And I didn't really I've never actually worked with an agency, and now I have one on my own. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I'm passionate about it. And I just remember I reached out to them directly and I was like, hi, here are my numbers. Look how many I sold. Like, I'd love to have an opportunity to work with you. And based off of those numbers, they're like, wow, okay, sure. Let's develop something together. So I feel like having those numbers and showing that you have a track record, or at least showing, like, if I'm not working directly with Mark Fisher at the time, like showing a difference, like Sam Edelman wearing those shoes, right? Having an ability to show that I can push sales is really great. So I want to be able to present data when I'm approaching brands.
I think that's an interesting part of this space, right? I heard in the last panel, they were talking about whether AI was taking over the creator space. And I really loved what one of the panelists said about, we follow the creators because of who they are. AI can't replace that, right? I follow you because you're you.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, but that's what makes it great, right? That's what makes it fun. I want to actually see your real life. I want that peek behind the window. AI can't give me that. So when you start to think about how important it is to marry that creative with those results, because it is a business at the end of the day, it's a really fine line that you have to walk. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. We call it test and learn on the agency side. It's how we kind of, cover it up if it wasn't quite right, but that's also important. So Jennifer, tell us about test and learn. Tell us about how your platform and your team helps brands optimize and understand when things work, why they worked. And also when they didn't, what tweaks or edits you might recommend for the next round, because it's certainly not just to give up and don't do it again.
No, I think the whole influencer industry right now is a little bit of a test and learn stage, right? When we talk about the maturity of programs in the US around the world, it really depends on there's so much nuance to the work that we do. So I feel like we're still very much in the test and learn. What's really important to us at CreatorIQ is what Jen was talking about. It's transparency around the data, right? Depending on where in the funnel you're trying to make an impact for your campaign, your metrics are different. Your success metrics are different. So for us, it's really important to empower not only creators, but also the brands to look at all of that data and have a conversation, right? Like what worked, what didn't. But, for my recommendation for creators would be, hey, like, beyond the campaign, really look for the context around what the brand is trying to do with their influencer program. You know, like where in the funnel is your work with them, and how can you create recommendations, be a true fan, like actually partner with the brand above and beyond an influencer campaign. Can you get involved in product? Can you get involved in research? Can you get involved in just some of the more kind of directional, like ways that we can think about like marketing for the product in general? I think for brands, the most important thing is to look at your relationships with your creator community as its own ecosystem. Different levels, different creators, different audiences that you're bringing to the table, and really being intentional about the community that you're curating, because they are a reflection of what you're trying to do in the world, right? I mean, I think I'm really excited about creator ecosystems actually informing brands and making sure that they become kind of like a collectively like sourced identity versus this kind of transactional, let's leverage a creator to like hit a goal, right? So
I think that's really important. And it goes back to a human truth of this too. You have to treat people well. So you've got to treat your creators well. The creators need to treat the brands well. Nobody wants to work with someone they don't like. Just call it what it is. And I think that's equally as important as the metrics, because if you're not able to have those productive conversations or evaluate whether or not something is working in a responsible and respectful way, the partnership's not really a partnership, right? It's just pay to play. Okay, I'm going to ask you all the same question. What's the biggest trend? If someone is going to launch a campaign tomorrow, what's the biggest trend or opportunity they have in the creator space today? Brendan? I know you hate that I made you go first. I watched you like avoid eye contact.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest trend that we've seen right now is the thing that came across in everything that we've said is the measurement and metrics really matter. And so leaning into that and understanding what that means and how that is going to change is so critical right now. And brands are looking at these metrics in different ways depending on the outcomes they're trying to achieve. So being able to lean into knowing those metrics, being able to align with the brands on it is just so critical.
Jennifer?
going down the line.
Yeah. We'll be fair. We're going to be equitable. We'll go the other way. I have one more of these. We'll go the other way for the other one.
I love it. I think what I'm really excited to see this year is really a continuation of what I've been talking about. I really want to see creator-created brands. So I'm not talking about celebrity brands. That's very different, right? Like one phase, kind of like launching a makeup product or whatever, a makeup brand or whatever that is. I'm really excited to see brands work with creators and their creator community, all the way from micros all the way up, to build and really have that dialogue with creators to build their company and their brand. I think that's really exciting, and I hope to see a lot of that this year.
Jen agrees with you.
Absolutely. And I feel like I have a long answer to this. I'll try to make it short, but kind of like what you were talking about, the just entrepreneurship, right? And I feel like when I started my business, my husband was like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want our family to be on camera. So I feel like I approached the creator space differently, where I wasn't sharing a lot about my life, but I became a shopping platform. So people knew me as like the queen of Amazon, and it was such an honor, still is, but I was still able to figure out how to serve my community and make it about them, and the numbers would show. And so I feel like from the get-go, I had this CEO mindset first and then a creator mindset second. And I feel like for the creators in this space, I want to encourage you to embrace that. Don't post something just because it's pretty. Post something because it's going to drive sales, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to drive value. And so for me, I really want to have the best tools that are going to help me drive the most conversion for the brands that are investing in me. I want to do good for them. And that is where GoToLinks actually came about, was because I wanted to have a strategic link in bio. I don't know about you guys, but I found that yes, having the comments in the post, the automations, all that, it's really great. But there are a lot of passive shoppers that are going to your link in bio, and that is gold. And when someone comes to your link in bio, what do they see? And I have seen on my end, and you can, learn from me, but if it helps, you can take a shortcut. But I have my LTK, I have my Amazon, different platforms, and they all have different ways shoppers like to shop. But for the people that are on my Instagram, they're looking at my posts and shopping my Instagram posts. And when they would go to my link in bio and I link to something else, they'd be like, Jen, I don't see it. I can't find it. And so I wanted to have a link in bio tool that purposefully mirrored my Instagram. And so if someone sees a post on my feed, they'll know exactly how to find it and shop it, whether they comment or they go to the link in bio. So I feel like for creators that are wanting to really lean into where things are going. Be strategic. Use tools like, and that's another thing I want to say. So ads, sorry, am I going too long?
You're literally answering my next question, so keep going.
Okay. Do you want to ask me the question?
No, because my question was like, tell us how GoToLinks was inspired. So like, keep going, please.
Okay. Well, I love that question. Thanks for the question.
You're doing my job for me.
Okay. I'm not as good as you. So, but yeah, so with GoToLinks, it's designed to optimize affiliate sales. So if a brand wants me to make my posts easy to shop, I need to make it easy for them to find. And there are a lot of great link in bio tools that are very editorial, but that is not what GoToLinks is there for. It's meant to look like a grid so that when people come to my link in bio, they can find it. I can pin posts that are performing the best instead of it getting pushed down. I can pin exclusive content for brands that want that extra coverage. So if you're a creator, you can drive more value in that way. I also wanted to be able to streamline my process where it has auto syncing. So when I post to my feed, it will automatically grab that cover photo and the affiliate link there. So it instantly makes it shoppable. There were times I was using other link in bio tools and I forgot to put my link in bio or my link in the post. And I'd be like, wow, look at this. I'm so excited. I posted for Nordstrom. Look at all these clicks. Things are going great. And then I realized it had no link in there. And that is a bad thing. I'm not serving my community well. I'm not serving the brand well. So I really wanted to make sure I made a tool. I was like, okay, nothing exists right now the way I need to scale as an affiliate marketer to drive sales. So I made my own. And it's based off of pain points that I had. And there are so many features in it, but the biggest feature is the pixel. And I feel like the creators that are really scaling are leaning into not only optimizing their organic, but also understanding how to run ads, not boosting, but running ads in a way where you can cultivate a community. And when ads used to be more transactional. So we are huge about ads, and I am too. And so I wanted to have the pixel on my link in bio, but a pixel is something that you have to put on something you own. And because I don't own Amazon or LTK, I can't put it on that. And I used to put on my blog, but then I hired, I had someone on a girl on my team to help me with it, but it was so cumbersome to try to maintain what I was posting. So I just wanted to automate it. I wanted to put my link in bio on there. And because I'm a creator, I want this to be the most creator friendly tool out there. We made it so other creators can put their link in bio on it too, or their pixel on their link in bio too. So we are just really excited about how I've seen it work well as a system. I have GoToLinks in my link in bio, and then I have Drivven where we're running ads, and it's a two-part thing. And we have been able to create a rinse and repeat situation where we are helping creators scale and brands get a lot of their investment back and more. It just shows that creators can provide even more value and to go above and beyond that way.
We love that. And let's be honest, all this marketing we're doing is for consumers. And as a consumer, we hate a gatekeeper, right? Don't post a picture and I can't find the thing you posted. Like, I want those jeans or I want that pot or whatever it might be. Like, I am going on there to peruse, to be inspired, and to shop. Brendan, playing off of this question, dual question. We're a team now. We're going on the road.
Let's huddle. Team huddle.
I love this.
I love it.
Going off this, talk to us about some of the product features that creators have inspired for Zoom. I know we were talking before this a little bit about what happened during COVID. We'd love a quick overview.
Well, at Zoom, we actually reserve an entire part of every single release for feedback that we're getting from customers, creators. It is such a part of our culture to have feedback driving our product. That it leads in. We actually have a company-wide Zoom chat channel, which is social voice of the customer, where all it is content being put in there that employees are seeing, creators that they love, and our product teams and engineers are seeing that, responding to it and going, how can we constantly improve the product based off of this feedback? One example recently is we heard feedback that the Zoom interface had gotten a bit more complex than it had been, and Zoom really had been known for the simplicity. And we heard from the creators, how do we get back to that truth that made Zoom successful? We heard that feedback, and in December, we released a whole new user interface for the client going back to that simplicity. But every single day, the team is constantly going, what is out there? What are we hearing? And how can we improve? Because it's all about this relationship and trust that goes back and forth.
We love that. All right, we've got 1 minute left. We're doing a group question. We're going this way. Prepare yourselves. I'll go fast. Speed round. No, keep going. We want all the insights. We're here for that, right? 2027. It feels like it's around the corner, which is terrifying. What is your prediction for what we're going to see between brands, creators, and consumers in the market?
I'll go fast. I feel like I already said it. I feel like ads. I feel like that's going to be a big part of it. And leaning into creators who know how to deliver is going to be big. Now, organic is still absolutely important, but I just think that they're going to see a lot of ads, just the buzz. And so if anybody has any questions or wants to talk, I would love to chat. Candy's right there. She's a part of my team too. And so we'll be over here, but just come say hi. I'd love to chat. If I can be of help, I'd love to be.
I knew this was coming. So I'm just going to build on the rest of my answers. I do think that we're going to see so much stronger relationships with creators, from creators and brands. I think we're going to continue to see these brands that are really having that dialogue with their creator community and just leveraging that in order to become more successful. So, and making sure that they're treating creator marketing as its own marketing channel, right? Everything from paid to organic to the long-term partnership to informing strategy and beyond.
Yeah, I agree with the rest of the panel. And I think the other thing that I see looking forward is creators moving beyond the social channels and actually having their own audiences and moving more to their own media groups when you think about it. We're already starting to see this trend with Zoom as a platform where folks are converting people from social avenues to actually fan sessions and meetups on our events platform and webinar platform. And at that point, they have an audience that they're growing and orchestrating, which is very exciting.
We love that. Well, speaking of the audience, thank you all again for being with us on a Sunday. We appreciate it so much. If you've got questions, grab us afterwards and enjoy the rest of your NAB.